who was trying to peer pressure Jeffree Star into drinking when Jeffree Star has been very adamant about not drinking. That's a reaction of his own actions. Look at what he did and said about the community. The disorganized timelines. He does not strip the fat of his videos. The fake crying was so bad in previous videos. On camera persona, which I feel like is 100% exaggerated. Hey guys, so today's video was a big sigh because I know that during the edit of this process I've had to go through hours and hours and hours of Shane content to get all of the clips. So before we even start the video, I never say this, but please give this video a like if you enjoy it, because I had to go through like probably 10 plus hours of content to get everything for this. Hello. Thank you. So today's video, I got inspired to go through a lot of Shane's content because I was watching a Fat Sajak video. I've been watching a few Fat Sajak videos, catching up. She commentated on Shane's latest series. Fucking hell, like I feel for her because watching that, at least I got the sarcastic comedy from Fat Sajak because it was painful. The amount of stuff she must have cut out of that, it was painful to watch. Enjoy what you want, but as someone who has genuinely has started to rewatch movies and content and really started to appreciate how the videography of it, so how things are edited, the shaky cam, like some of my old vlogs, I don't have a big setup. I literally, especially when I'm vlogging, I just use my phone because the videos are for me. They're not meant to be professional. They're not meant for millions and millions and millions of people to see. So when I see lazy editing, shaky cam, and bad mics, like where you genuinely can't even hear sometimes what people were saying.
I really love it out here.
I mean, I love this. I never thought you would be the type of person to love this.
I just feel so at peace out here. I really do. I feel like I can actually breathe again out here.
Me too. I just had a breath.
Okay, so I'm currently editing this right now and I use Wondershare Filmora. That is a super affordable, like £20 a year or something, editing software. And I've been able to adjust the audio to be able to hear it way better because something went fucked up with my mic and it was really quiet. So I was able to adjust that, put the audio up to basically max, so now my audio is 100% better. If I can do that with a £20 a year editing software, and I'm not a YouTuber of 10 years, I'm not a YouTuber of any caliber, I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. What the fuck is Shane's excuse? It gets really frustrating. So I just wanted to go through and sort of example a bunch of the problems I have with Shane's content as someone who is an ex-fan of him. I stopped watching when I found out about his past that I had no idea about because I hadn't watched him for 5 to 10 years. I wasn't aware of that sort of stuff. I was only aware of the empath Shane, as he liked to call himself.
I also feel like I get them and I want to help them and all of that.
Because you're empathic.
So an empath. I've heard that before.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's essentially like we feel for other people.
I will say he's not calling himself empathetic anymore, and considering he was trying to peer pressure Jeffree Star into drinking when Jeffree Star has been very adamant about not drinking.
When you were like, you really never drank, like I think you were kidding, maybe you weren't, but like...
Thank you. Thank you.
Me holding this, Shane? Really never drank. We're not doing this. Shane.
Really?
Two documentaries later, we're not doing this.
Not still? Not sip?
Let me turn off Avatar. God damn it.
Okay, how about if you get really drunk, I'll get really high for the first time. Actually, bad idea.
Whether he used to drink in the past and doesn't now, as someone who also, I do drink every now and then, but I very much limit how much I drink to like one every 3 to 6 months because it affects me in a really, really bad way. I've spoken about this before. So if someone openly says to you, I don't drink, or I'm not really a drinker, and you try and peer pressure them into drinking, just switch drinking for drugs. Like, don't peer pressure at any age people into doing something they're not fucking comfortable with. That is not empathetic. And Jeffree Star's apparently meant to be his best, like one of his best friends. I'm glad he's thrown away that title as the empath or Ellen of YouTube. In hindsight, that worked out well, didn't it? Okay, so I have like a huge list, so let's go. First of all, I've noticed since Shane has come back that his content is incredibly lazy, to the point where they will literally have within the video them talking about what they think this video should be about.
What do I say? I should probably explain why I moved. I should probably explain why I'm here. I really don't know what this video is. What do I call this video? I'm not dead.
I'm not.
I am dead. Okay, so here's why I'm thinking of doing this video. I went on Instagram.
Or what they should do next. It's like, do you not maybe think you could cut that out? Do you not think you could structure this better during the editing process? I mean, don't get me wrong, I always just have bullet points like this. I do not format my videos. I find it better just to free talk rather than try and read a script. Some people are really good at reading scripts, that's fine. I have a really bad memory. It's gotten worse and worse as I'm getting older due to stress. And I think I can edit a lot of videos in a way where I sound quite intelligent. Whereas if you saw unedited my videos, they're very I get frustrated with myself through editing when I'm free talking, so I get it. It takes time to really format and edit videos, but Shane has time and his audience will wait for videos. Like, he doesn't post every Friday, for example, and has to get the video out. He films and edits and posts them when he feels like it. I mean, I do exactly the same, but I think even I post more than fucking Shane does, and I post maybe once a week. Granted, if I was filming and editing and that was my whole job, like Shane's is, I could post a video easily a couple of times a week, as long as my mental health was okay. Because I'm talking to a camera and I'm just editing clips in and like context and stuff like that. I don't want to be rude, but Shane's content isn't that far from that, because he just adds a shitload of B-roll in. He doesn't clip out a bunch of content that's clearly not necessary. I think it was Stephen Fry said, or someone said, that you need to kill your darlings. What killing your darlings means is that because you have spent so long on, it could be a chapter of a book or a piece in a video, because you've spent so long on it, you cannot see that it's not necessary, because it means so much more to you than it will to the viewer. Shane is very much like that. He does not strip the fat of his videos, and this has been a problem for a long time with Shane, because even when he was in the chair, his film, he did exactly the same, where they showed it to test audiences and all the test audiences said that the intro was way too long before you got to the main characters. And because of that, the pacing of the movie was seriously slowed down. And I want to say co-producer or something, said, why don't we just try and cut that out and see if it's better? But because it meant so much to Shane, he didn't want to cut it out.
How long is it if you go from the top till we get to Scott and Tori?
24 minutes?
I think if we do a cut, just take that scene out. I honestly don't even think you're gonna miss it.
We can try.
We can try
I
it.
don't want to do that right now.
Why can't we do it right now? Cut.
That's why you're here for a couple days, and I just felt like after we watched it, I'd rather like be excited and talk about the movie, like just jumping into it being like, this is the problem.
No,
it's like,
but
well,
this is, can't not say anything. I'm not gonna sit here and just tell you like, it's done, it's ready to go. So
we've been working our off on this for it's awesome. I think it's really good.
And I feel like it's very similar, at least on some level, with his current content, that because he wasn't creating content for such a long time, he will not strip the fat of any of his videos, and because of that they're hugely inflated. They're literally now just vlogs. Like, at least before you could kind of get away with saying they're documentaries because they had a lot of background information. There was definitely parts of it that were vloggy, like at his house with Ryland and the dogs and all this sort of stuff.
Come on, dogs, let's exercise.
But that face for a loco, smoking on the backwoods, sipping on loco. All these bitches screaming they be off for the cocoa.
But now you cannot call his recent videos, even though he tries to make out, oh, this is a series, they're not a series, they're just vlogs. They are literally just vlogs. Okay, so I've got a couple of notes about this to do with Shane's editing and the way things are filmed. The way that Shane and his cameraman, whether it was Andrew. I mean, I really liked Andrew, but what I will say, and that's something, again, as someone who's really starting to appreciate videography, I really get annoyed when someone who has as much money as Shane, who spends a lot of time, effort and energy apparently on his videos, why they don't have proper camera, or I can't remember what the rigging's called, but I think they're a couple of £100, and considering the amount of money that they throw away on random ass shit, they can afford it. You can get something for a camera operator where it goes over their chest, the camera will sit inside it, and it literally just stabilises all of the movement. So it's not like this all of the time.
Sad about me being gone. Just remember how much money potentially we could make from the palette.
So, because don't get me wrong, like I said, my vlogs, totally shaky cam. But then I use my fucking iPhone, and I don't have a million pound fucking house. So you don't expect my vlogs to not be shaky cam, because I'm a one-man band. Shane isn't. He has a cameraman, he has money, he has a shitload of money. He can afford to own a bit more equipment to fix this sort of stuff. Also, the zooms. Andrew sort of knew when to zoom in and out.
Whoa.
Okay, I'm gonna miss you guys too.
Oh no, get off my... Oh no, you're not on it. I thought he was putting his paws on my freshly cleaned pillowcase.
Miss you.
Shane's new camera operator, Chris, doesn't have that sort of same timing.
No.
Dumb question.
No. No, I'm doing great. Okay, so yeah. So I moved. I've said that so many times.
He hasn't worked with Shane and in that sort of circumstance long enough, so he doesn't maybe have that experience, giving him the benefit of the doubt. But also, can we just talk about hearing the zoom constantly, like that clacking noise, every single time he zooms in and out? That can be cut out. At least try and edit the noise down and the music slightly up to try and fade it. If you want to at least act professional, then those sort of things really need to be at the forefront of your mind, because it affects the experience of the viewer. Speaking of editing, the disorganized timelines. Oh god. Like, it was one thing in the second Jeffree Star series that they were jumping backwards and forwards in time. It was more because it was building you up. It was trying to tease you. We may show you something about the palette, and then, oh no, we're not going to. Or we may show you something about no, we're not.
So let's talk about that.
I'll put this away.
I always think about, I just finished naming a palette that was kind of like very personal, like all things.
It's like you're discussing something and like, should it slow down?
Oh my god, I quit.
Yeah, with
See how my black though?
yeah, then
It's actually like, whoa.
Holy shit.
I overwhelmed. I wanted the detailing in the pan to be perfect.
They fucking killed this.
Oh yeah, they.
This is like,
Isn't it sick?
this is better than anything I could have ever imagined.
Which was, at the time, it was kind of cool. Now, in the most recent series, they jumped timelines like 4 or 5 times within the space of about 5 minutes, and it was for no reason.
Okay, honey, we started in February of 2020. Then we moved 2.5 years later. Now we're going back 12 hours. I hate word problems. If this timeline gets any less linear, we're gonna punch a hole in the space-time continuum.
He was trying to do the same thing. Are they, aren't they, showing us the colours for the palette, when literally all the colours for the palette were basically on that table anyway, so we'd already seen it.
That's a good idea. Right? Yeah.
Which, by the way, I will say, just a side note, I hadn't seen the series until I watched Fat Sajak's video, and I'd only seen a photo on Twitter where they showed would have been the Doomsday palette of all those colours. Those rows of 2 colours looked so fucking bland. However, the one thing I will say is that it made me realise that placement makes such a big difference in palettes. The colours on the table, because they were arranged in a completely different way actually looked way more appealing to me than what Shane showed in that Z palette. I thought it was so funny that it makes such a difference. I would have bought the ones on the table. I really like greens, blues, dark, like vampy sort of colours, obviously. Seeing them in those rows, just like neutral and then a few bolds at the end, that looked so fucking boring. And also the contrast of the photo, like because they were outside and it was very blown out, probably didn't help. It makes me appreciate how people set up makeup palettes a lot more. So yeah, so anyway, going back to the point, the sloppiness of his jump cutting from timeline to timeline to timeline seems to have gotten so much worse this year than it had at least when Andrew was there. Maybe again it's because Andrew was like, oh, this is just going to be confusing. Maybe he gave like some feedback to Shane at the time, whereas now I assume Shane is the only person who edits, because I think Chris is just the camera man and doesn't do editing, but I could be wrong. I haven't heard them talk about that sort of stuff, so I'm just assuming. But yeah, it seems so much worse now, and for someone who has ADHD, it was so hard for me. My brain fucks off really quickly, so if you jump around that much, I've lost what the fuck was going on. I was watching a YouTuber play Little Hope and I hadn't seen anyone play it yet, so I was really excited to watch it. And because it was in like a more slower bit, got my phone out because my brain just cannot focus enough for long periods of time. Please tell me I'm not getting COVID all of a sudden. I think it's just because I've worked a lot of days in a row. Maybe my body is just catching up. Two quick things I want to talk about his editing before we get into Shane's exaggerated, what seems like, character recently. I noticed in this series, and it's something Shane had done in his previous series, was that Shane was asked to cut the camera, and it takes Shane a second before he actually cuts the film before he changes it to another part.
I always am like,
I mean, that's why James ended up here.
Yeah, could we tell you something really quick off camera? James has made like a lot already. Yeah, it's insane. Basically.
So I will say, at least in this series, Shane actually cut it almost as soon as he was asked to cut.
You know, it's just really not fun. And then let's cut for 1 second. Yeah. So.
But in the previous series, he'd been asked to cut the camera and they just sort of hid the camera. And I noticed they did that, I think, as well in the Jake Paul series.
I have a lot of questions.
I have questions for you. No, I don't.
Wait, let's cut for a second. Hi.
Hi.
Crazy, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Crazy. What the?
Oh god, eight episodes of Jake Paul I've got to go back through. I'm really not looking forward. The second thing is, I noticed, I don't think he'd done this in previous series, but in this recent one, he repeated content at least twice in the second and third episodes, I guess just in case you missed it.
Okay, so...
You okay?
I mean, I'm happy that he's happy. I'm sad about him being so negative about YouTube.
So it's time to hang up my fucking hat and focus on other things. We should be smiling and laughing. YouTube sucks.
Maybe because the episodes were so fucking unbelievably boring, people may have stopped watching by the time there was that piece, but it did sort of talk to, well, that you have to re-show the part that we already saw in the previous episode. You're either just padding out your video, or you think your viewers are stupid so don't remember that, or you don't think that they watched far enough in the video. Just saying. So now we're going to start getting into, I've spoken about Shane's character previously, more around his flirting openly with Chris and saying things like, oh, you make my day, and
being here in Colorado's my happy place, so.
You're my happy place.
Honest, that's more than just the flirting that there was before. Like saying you make my life better or my day better. I can't remember which one it was. That's a very, very personal thing. I mean, he literally had his fiancée in the other room. If his fiancée isn't the one that makes his life or day better every day, honestly, I just feel bad for Ryland. Because also the way that Shane has been treating Ryland, he really undermines him and sort of puts him down constantly. And Ryland said in other videos, oh, this is just their dynamic and stuff, but I don't know, honestly I wish Ryland would think a little bit better of himself. And I mean, I was never a huge fan of Ryland. Like, I've mentioned this before, when I was a fan of Shane's, that I enjoyed watching the I'm Cooking for My Boyfriend, and obviously Shane was in that. I liked those videos because I liked to see behind the scenes, and those were actual vlogs. They were meant to be vlogs, they weren't meant to be what Ryland's videos are now, because Shane clearly edits them and puts B-roll over fucking everything.
Is it happening?
I don't know. Oh my god, it's time.
Oh no, you're
Oh my god, hurry.
They're gonna hate me. Oh gosh.
They already do.
Fast and the Furious.
I can't remember the exact B-roll he used. That's clearly how fucking unimportant it was. Like, I can't even remember what the fucking B-roll was. Your viewers aren't stupid. Ryland's videos are meant to be just vlogs. They've always just been vlogs. Just leave them to be fucking vlogs. Like, you really don't need to do that. I really just want Ryland to have some respect for himself, because Ryland mentioned that they want to get another baby. They got another puppy recently, so that's 3 dogs and a cat. Ryland mentioned that he has this like morning routine to, you know, take the dogs for a run or walk or whatever, sort out their food and like clean the house and all this sort of stuff. And Shane's fucking response was him whining and complaining that Shane was shouting at him.
What?
I brought the camera out to address some things.
Healthy.
Shane woke up for the first time like really early. He's been up all morning. It's only 8:30 right now, and he's in bed scrolling, and the dogs are all doing what they do at 8 a.m., which is like stepping on me, begging me to get up, trying to go play. And I thought, oh, Shane's up, so he can help me with the morning routine with 4 animals. And I'm like, come on, Shane, let's go do the morning routine. And guess what? He conveniently walks downstairs 30 minutes later after everything is over.
First of all, your narrative
What?
is skewed. I have not slept. I fell asleep after editing at like 1 in the morning, and then I woke up at 5 in the morning, and I was like, oh my god, and then I couldn't go back to sleep.
We can't hear you.
Then I come to bed, and I'm like, I should probably try to go back to sleep, and then you got up. And then I decided, you know what, no, I'm gonna have a fun day with my dad. And then I came downstairs and you were yelling at me.
Oh my gosh, whatever. So,
which he wasn't, it was complete exaggeration, but that they've lived together for years and years and years and years and years now. Like, they've been together 6 years, probably been living together for easily 4, maybe 5. And that he thinks that he can just basically treat Ryland basically how, I'm gonna be honest, however he wants. People who are in relationships and their partner, you know, will see the washing up to do, so they'll do the washing up, or you know, the laundry's like starting to overflow, oh, I better put a load in. They are participating in the home. If you're consistently having to be asked, like a child, to do chores around the house, you are not a fucking participant, and you are not an equal partner in that relationship. I'm getting pissed off because I've had to do that with partners before. I was living with someone for years and consistently had to ask, can you do the washing up? Oh, I'll do it in an hour, I'll just come in. Well, yeah, I just came in from having to travel all the way from London, so I'm fucking exhausted, and I've had to clean up. I've had to do us dinner. I don't fucking complain about it all the time, do I? Sometimes I'm really grateful not to be in a relationship, because being in a relationship with the wrong person is not fucking worth it. So, speaking of Shane's exaggerations, let's talk about Shane's exaggerated crying, whining, and shock. Like, oh my god, that's crazy. Everything Jeffree Star does or says is so fake. You cannot be this shocked.
It can't really be that shocking to you guys, right? Like,
It's really shocking to me. Are you kidding me?
I think you're kidding.
I'm
right?
not. No.
No one watches it anymore.
Especially as the previous day, Jeffree had apparently said to Shane, before they even flew out, oh, I'm gonna leave YouTube.
We haven't had a conversation
No,
about
I had
it,
no
so
idea.
it's okay to be shocked.
When you
I'm just
FaceTimed me last night about it, I literally wanted to throw up.
Taking a hiatus. He'll be back when the money's back. He's actually taking a hiatus because people aren't watching as much anymore, which he...
When did you want to talk about
quitting YouTube?
oh, you're going there that quick?
2 more videos and then I'm done. She's hanging it up, you hear?
No one's clicking him anymore. Literally, no one cares about YouTube. Not one single person goes to watch it for enjoyment or fun anymore that I know anymore.
Right.
Like the old days, even Maddie, everyone would go home and go on the couch and blah blah blah. The pandemic created Paramount, Showtime, Disney Plus, Netflix had so much budget to do 20 million movies. YouTube fizzled out. No one cares.
He says it's across the whole of YouTube. No, it's not. Beauty community in general has definitely taken a nosedive because there was a lot of negativity around beauty community. Also, a lot of people don't have as much inspiration with the palettes. The people who grew up with the beauty community in the last 5-10 years, you know, they've moved on to other things, a bit like they did with Gabby Hanna content, and she was saying oh, people just don't watch YouTube anymore. Shane's shot. Every single fucking time Jeffrey said something or did something, and Jeffrey always seems very exaggerated in most of Shane's series. He'll put on his Jeffrey persona. I think that there's a subdued Jeffrey, a normal Jeffrey, and then there's a camera Jeffrey. And I feel like that his camera Jeffrey is what he puts up a little bit more with Shane.
Cash, cash, cash. Fuck is the house.
I can't find a meeting with that number.
Oh my god, Morphe doesn't want to do the collab. Is that the third thing? Things comes in threes. Campaign, robbery, flop. What the fuck do I do, Nate? What's happening? Where'd the shade go? This is embarrassing. I'm so sorry. I cannot believe this. I muted it. It's just so embarrassing. This is so annoying.
At least in his videos. But yeah, this whole oh my god, I cannot believe you're leaving YouTube. I don't know what I'd do without you on YouTube.
Because I don't know what YouTube is without you. I feel like you're just such a huge part of.
It's been crazy.
All of it.
It's been a really cool journey.
Seriously? You didn't know Jeffree Star for fucking years whilst you were on YouTube for easily 6 to 8 years. So you live without him on YouTube, you'll live without him being on YouTube next year. I mean, if he actually ever leaves YouTube, because I don't follow his content, but Fat Sajak did mention when Shane filmed that video fucking over a month ago or whatever, Jeffrey said, I'm only going to put out 2 more videos, and there's been more than 2 videos already, so was that true or was it not? The same goes for his fake crying. The fake crying was so bad in previous videos.
Sitting through a meeting like that is a one-time thing. I mean, I've sat in meetings with you and it's just the same thing. That's not how it works, that's not gonna happen, give you this percent, and us coming back to the house and being yeah, I guess that's okay, and whatever. It's the first time where it's wait a minute, that does kind of make sense. Which is really cool. That's why it's so nice to hear. Yeah.
It just feels like this is so funny. Just having a breakdown.
Shane would always stop and sort of look off. He would scrunch up his face and try and sound sad, and there'd be no tears.
Oh my god! You need to write a sad book.
I have a lot of good sad material.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Why did your second book not come in audio form?
Oh my god.
It didn't?
Oh no. Because I read your first book on Audible, and I didn't get to read the second one.
Shane, we're recording that Ow, that hurts. I'm so sad. I'm sorry. How much I really care for you. I'm please don't. I know. Okay? And you believing in me even the slightest when anything means so well to me. And to let you down and people who love us and love me and love you down is so heartbreaking.
I don't know if I'm an empath, but I am very, very empathetic to people that are struggling. For instance, in this current crisis, in Ukraine right now, in Iran right now, completely. I've literally cried on camera multiple times because of the situation that people are having to live through right now. And there's going to be something going on very fucking soon, because people can't live like this. I know I'm very fortunate, but all I think about every day is, I just think about pensioners. There's someone who lives 2 doors away. I don't know how she's going to heat her home. If you have genuine empathy for things like that, don't think it's that difficult. And 100% I was not fake at all in any of those videos. If it was fake, I would never put that shit out. I hope my videos come across enough that I'm very, very genuine in all of my reactions. Whether that was a couple of years ago or now. I would never, ever, ever fake cry on a video and think that was okay to put out. And oh yeah, I forgot one. Where he's fake scared of everything as well.
Shane pretends to be scared.
He came back for, what was it, Halloween or something? Was that last year? When he eventually came back to YouTube, he did like a spooky ghost sort of series, and he was talking about his basement. He was playing up that his basement has ghosts or demons or whatever. Chris had like a scratch or something on his arm, and he was like, oh my god, did you have that before? And they were playing up to it.
What happened?
Your mom's house was built.
Oh, I don't know.
Are you serious? Did you? Yeah. You really? I was gonna ask you about that like 2 hours ago, but I was like, I don't know if it's a sensitive subject.
I don't know. I probably hit it.
You don't know what that is?
No.
It just happened.
Wait, stop! You're scaring me so much.
Are you serious?
That?
What?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm clumsy. I probably did it in my sleep.
Chris.
Stop it! I'm so scared.
That's actually scary. Right? Or no? That's not. It's normal.
I didn't even realize it.
It definitely looks like a scratch.
Really? Do you know how many times I accidentally walk into things? Like, you know, I walk into things. I'm very clumsy. You just don't remember. Like, the amount of times I accidentally bump into things on my arm, and then I'll be like, oh, hey, where did I get that huge bruise? Because obviously you don't get the bruise for like 2 days. And then by then I've completely forgotten because it wasn't significant. The only one I will say I'll remember, I still laugh about, I still can't believe I did it. I was putting food away years ago. This is the first year I lived here. I've learnt my fucking lesson. But that was when I was putting food away, and I have like these cupboards, and I've got this high cupboard, and I had it open, and I forgot I hadn't closed it, so I turned around and I smacked my head right on the corner of this cupboard, and I had literally like a cut. I hadn't not quite broken the skin, but there was like a line where I'd clearly knocked directly into my forehead. Yeah, I remembered that one. But all other sort of ones, I accidentally walk into my bed, like into the corner of my bed when I'm half asleep and getting up. I don't automatically think, oh my god, I've got a huge bruise on my knee or my arm or something. I've been a demon. Like, Jesus Christ, can we grow up? I'm not doing wrong. I've literally heard something that sounds like a ghost in my flat, and I have it on camera. Okay, so I'm currently in the middle of editing right now, and can someone please explain what the fuck I just caught on my camera? So I stayed in that toxic relationship for another 2 years. That was a person talking, right? But I don't think that bruises and shit are from ghosts or demons. Like, Jesus Christ. Still speaking of his fakeness in a way, Shane consistently needing validation from people around him or his fans that he's good at his job or that he's a good person. And so much so that when in his recent series, because he's had so much fucking backlash, he had to have Ryland's family boost his fucking ego and tell him how much of a good person he is.
Now you seem so happy.
Yeah.
I'm just proud of you for, you were in a horrible place. California is just a nasty place. I'm sorry, Chris. But look at you now, you're thriving, you're happy, I love that.
Oh my god, you guys are good at this.
The validation is so unnecessary. Yes, his views have 100% gone down. He used to get like 20 million views or something. First episode of a series is going to have Jeffree Star in it, for example. He would get about 20 million in the first day. And now he gets maybe 1 million over a couple of days. Like, that's a reaction of his own actions. Look at what he did and said about the community, about the beauty community. And he has the gall to show his next fucking palette. Like, he was the one who turned around and said that the beauty community, the whole fucking thing, even though he was walking around with one of the most toxic people in the beauty community. But like, it was always that part. There's so much more to the beauty community than those fucking people. I'm not trying to be an absolute dickhead, but the beauty community is fucking huge. My channel originally was a beauty community only channel. The people that helped me get even to 100 subscribers, there was people with like 1,000 subscribers that would follow me and try to show support on my video. There was so many good, nice people, and there still are. And the second he said the beauty community was toxic, that the beauty community was always the bad thing, and But then the second he got backlash for that, he ran away saying he's too sensitive. If you can't stand by your fucking huge soliloquy, this wasn't like a one tweet and then delete. This was a huge fucking soliloquy of tweets, or like notepad or whatever it was, shitting all over the beauty community and saying, well, of course Jeffree Star's like that, he's Jeffree fucking Star. Of course you were going to get backlash, and of course people were not going to like you for it. Like, being negative towards any community is going to get you backlash. I have to be aware of that every single time I post a video. The on-camera persona, which I feel like is 100% exaggerated, because if it's not, the baby voices and shit that he was doing to Ryland, like, oh my god.
Can I have it now?
Here, okay, no. Cinnamon, nutmeg. Let me just take a picture of the top before you mess it up. No. Shane, stop it. I know it's exciting. I feel like I have a child. What is on the top? Is that cinnamon?
I don't know. Can I eat it yet?
Yes, okay, you can try it.
Finally. I am not having a good day. I just spilled all over myself. Oh, I'm throwing a tantrum. Need my milk, my bubba.
Surely that was exaggerated. And the fake crying and the fake shock and the fake scared of everything. Like, his personality has either become so exaggerated he's become a caricature of himself and he doesn't actually now know who he is, or he's doing it for the camera, in which case all I'm saying is he needs to be better on camera. Okay, yes, the last thing I just want to mention, which is probably a little bit of a dig at Shane. Shane being openly very gross on camera. Some of the really older series, he was very, very open about the fact that he always wore the same t-shirt over and over and over again. Days in a row, not just the same one, but days in a row.
I am like oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
And the peeing in a bottle, which Ryland has said is a genuine thing. That he pees in a bottle and leaves it by his bedside.
Hey, what's in that bottle right there? It seems like maybe you might have pissed into it because you were too lazy to get and go to the actual bathroom. Shane, is that piss? No. Shane, is that piss? Do you want me to test it? Jesus, Shane, what is this? It's Powerade. I was sick. If this smells like piss, I'm gonna hit you. Okay. It's fucking piss. Dude. Why don't you show it? You are so gross. Ryland, why do you let him do this?
I can't stop him, I've tried.
I didn't even know about that.
Bin instead of the toilet. He'll choose that instead of the toilet.
I can't believe you just made me smell piss. This isn't for the video, kids. Shane, that was so gross.
Pee in the bathroom smells bad. Can you imagine having pee by your bedside and in your car that gets like really hot in LA heat? Like,
it's hot and small in here. Isn't it like Jurassic Park?
but worse. It must reek. Like, seeing how messy Shane is in the car, like he ripped open a muffin on a recent video and the shit got everywhere and he didn't even consider like, oh, maybe I should try and clean some of that up. He literally just left it.
Ready? Oh. It went everywhere, oh no.
This is disgusting.
So if he's like that just with crumbs in a car and with a pee bottle in his car, imagine what the fuck else is going on. He can afford a fucking cleaner, just like... And then literally in the last, I think it was the last episode of his recent series, he literally picked up shit, yak shit, with his bare hands.
Smell the ranch right now.
Yes, there is no shit.
Is that a hunk of shit?
Yeah, and it's old. You can pick it up. It's only
No,
grass.
Shane.
It's only grass.
Just get down there and
It's
smell it.
only
Why do you
grass.
have to touch it? Why do you have to touch it? Sick.
Did you smell it?
It's just...
It doesn't smell.
But Chris, turn around and look at what they're eating. They only eat grass, you guys. Yaks are really healthy. It's not like they're eating fucking McDonald's all day.
It kind of looks like a yak burger.
They're eating... Oh, but look inside, it's green because they only eat grass and alfalfa.
It doesn't smell at all.
Didn't wash them and then was touching all over this palette, and I think he may have swatched... Yeah, he swatched a shade on his hand.
This one. This was the one that we made in the lab together.
Yes. Wow.
I was so proud of this one.
Stunning. Wow. The shift.
Ugh. With the same hand as well, I will say, because he picked it up, I think, with his right hand and he swatched with his right hand. So he's 100% just got yak shit. And that just cut off for no reason, as far as I can see. Anyway, I'm going to cut this here before my camera cuts off again. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you all in the next one. Bye!